Okay, sige, game.
Okay.
Medyo lapit kayo, no? Intimate topic. Very, sabi nga ni Dennis, it's a uh, very interesting topic. I'm sure you're all interested about it. It's also a very important topic, no? And something that probably we don't get to talk so much about, no? I don't know, no? So kung if you agree with that, no? Uh, which is unfortunate because it's a very important topic, and I guess it's it's not an overstatement for me to say that currently we do face a crisis, no? Not just about the war in Iran, no, but also even before that we have this crisis, which I think is sexual in nature. If you Even if you just drive through EDSA, for example, and look at the billboards, it's very easy to see na things are over-sexualized, di ba? Kahit anong binibenta, whether it's a piece of land or whether it's a paint or kung ano man, there's always a scantily clad woman there, no? And we tend to look at women as parang an object of desire, no? So kaya ngayon may init din siya sa Senate, no? Or sa Congress pala. So, and it's unfortunate because sabi ko nga, it's a very important topic, but we don't get to talk about it often enough, no? Parang, I don't know, culture siguro natin na we don't talk openly about the subject, whether it's in your family circle or even in faith circles, we probably don't openly talk about it. So, nangyayari, where do we learn much of what we know about it is sa media, mainstream media or social media, or yung mga napapanood natin sa sine or sa mga telenovela or sa television shows, no? Which unfortunately is, I would say, not a little bit distorted from what it's intended to be from the very beginning. So what we really want to do is go back to the very beginning, understand what did God intend ba when He invented sex, no? And we know it's a good thing because God made invented marital sex, no? So it must be good, no? But that unfortunately, of course, the devil, as usual, tries to distort something good and makes it a bit of an issue, especially in marriages. No? So maybe before we go to the topic on marital sex, I wanted to just go back a little bit uh, because the topic is sex in marriage. I presume you have had a little bit of a first introduction in the earlier courses. I don't know, maybe at the start of FC2 or maybe FC1. I don't know about uh, what the importance of sex is, no, and what it is and what marriage is. No, meron tayo. Nadaanan niyo na ba yung sex is for marriage, marriage is for family, di ba? Family is for community, and nandaan niyo na siguro yan, no? So we're gonna go a little bit deeper than that in today's session, no? But I wanna start by stepping back and just reviewing, and let's do siguro chat lang sa ano, let's make this a little bit interactive. You can chat in the chat box yung sagot nyo. I just wanted to ask, what is marriage ba? So, I'm sure nadaanan nyo na yan, pero maybe write down in few short phrases or sentences or keywords what marriage is. Understanding nyo what marriage is. Maybe I'll look at the chat box here then. Hindi ko makita dito or labas tayo. Pwede rin, no? Medyo challenging ng konti sa akin, brothers and sisters, kasi I'm doing both live and uh, ayan, yan, nakikita ko na yung chat. Okay, so maybe can you write down here your answer? What is marriage? You can write few words lang, short words lang, keywords. What is marriage in your no right or wrong answer here. So huwag kayong mahiya sumulat. Union. Okay? Ano pa? Commitment. May nagsabi commitment ito. Covenant. Between a man and a woman. Okay, ano pa? Union, covenant, between man and woman, commitment. Anybody else? Wala na, agree na. Yun lang. No more? Yun, union. Marami nagsabi union. Covenant, again, where the couple is called to grow in love, unity, service. It's a vocation. O, yun, malalalim na yung sagot. Okay. Tama naman lahat yan, no? Tama naman. Paano ko ba i-alis? I-hide to. Yan. So, okay. So, so I'm gonna write here a definition which I think is more or less the same sa mga binanggit nyo. Di ba? Sabi ko dito, it's a union or joining together between a man and a woman that establishes between themselves a partnership of the whole of life by which is by its nature ordered to the good of the spouses and the procreation and education of offspring. So may mahaba na konti pero kinapture ko karamihan dun sa sinabi nyo. I think the first part is very easy to say. Ano yan eh, kahit secular definition, parang ganyan din, diba? It's the union or joining together of a man and a woman for the whole of their life, no? Ang medyo siguro additional lang yan na hindi siguro lahat agree with is yung sa baba, medyo Catholic definition na yan, catechism na yan, na meron siyang dalawang purpose. It's geared towards the for the good of the spouses and procreation of offspring. But generally, that's how we define marriage. I think we can agree on that, no? So basically, if you look at that, may tatlong parts yan. Di ba, may sumagot sa inyo, covenant, di ba? So sabi, it's a covenant, so it's understood to be a permanent and exclusive union between one man, and one woman for a lifelong partnership. So hindi siya temporary lang, no? It's for the whole of life, it's permanent, and exclusive, and it's one man and one woman, no? And it's established through free and mutual consent of the spouses. So hindi pwedeng shotgun marriage, no? Kailangan it has to be given freely. Okay? So yun yung covenant, no? The second one, parang covenant, parang yung ating covenant with the community rin, no? Parang ganyan definition, no? Yung it's ordered for a purpose, yung sinabi ko kanina, ito yung sa church definition naman, that is intended to foster the well-being and happiness of the husband and wife. So the union is para sa ikabubuti ng mag-asawa at para sa ikaliligaya nila, di ba? So that's the intent. And so dual purpose. The second one is for procreation and education of offspring. So it's naturally ordered towards having and raising children. And then the third is, walang nagbanggit kanina, pero I think you will all know na sa atin, especially for those who are Catholics here, it's a sacrament. So meron tayong 7 sacraments, di ba? And one of them is holy matrimony. So pag sinabi nating sacrament, what is a sacrament ba? Anybody? What's a sacrament? Naalala niyo pa? Saan yung ano ko? Saan yung chat ko? Yun. Anybody answer? Can anybody answer? What do you know what a sacrament is? Instituted by Christ. Tama. Ano pa? Anybody? Wala. So let's see. So a sacrament, sabi dito, is an outward visible sign instituted by God. So outward visible sign, nakikita siya. It's a sign, but it points specifically to God, no? It reveals something about God, and it allows us to encounter Him. So it allows us to make visible something that's invisible, and allows us to encounter the Lord. At the same time, when we have the sacrament, it's a source of grace for us. Kaya pag nagko-communion tayo, for example, or confession, we believe that's a source of grace for us, no? Now, I just want to mention na for something, a sign be effective, for it to be efficacious, it must be through to what it is representing, di ba? And this is important later on when we talk about it. So yung marriage daw is a visible sign. It's a sign of something that points to God, reveals something about God, and it allows us to receive grace. That's marriage kasi it's a sacrament. Pero point is, dapat for a sign to be effective, it must be true to anong nire-represent niya. So, halimbawa, nagdadrive ka sa ng kotse mo at may nakita kang sign na naka-arrow right that says, this way to Ligaya Center, parang ganyan. For that sign to be effective, it must be true to what it is saying, meaning, kakanan ka talaga. Pero kung nasa kaliwa ang Ligaya Center at na ang sign mo is nasa kanan, then it's not an effective sign, di ba? So, para maging effective yung sign, it has to be true kung ano yung sabi niya. So, take note of that. Babalikan ko yan later on. So, marriage daw is a sign. So, it's a sign of what? Anong nire-reveal niya about God? So, sabi, if we go back to the very beginning, nung Genesis tayo, how when God instituted marriage, it says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. And you can continue with that reading until abot kayo the part where it says, therefore man leaves his father and mother and cleaves to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So there you see the whole reading about the verse about marriage, no? Pero what I wanted to point here is yung sinabi nito, kasi we're talking about ano ba? Visible signs of what? Ano bang ni-reveal niya about God? So sabi dito, twice sinabi, He created man in the image, in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female, and blessed them and asked them to fill the earth and be fruitful and multiply. So sinasabi dito parang, it's in His image. So if there's anything that God created that reveals the most about Him, it's actually humanity, di ba? Mankind, kasi we're created in His image and likeness. Pero it's interesting that the verse said it here in the part of when He talks about marriage, yung institution ng marriage, no? So parang sinasabi pala dito, hindi lang when traditionally when we talk about man is created after God's own image and likeness, ang naiisip natin, or at least ako, nung bata ako, ang alam ko, yes, we are created by God, we are rational beings, we have intellect, and we have free will. Yan yung mga sinasabi nung bata pa ako, yung pag sinabing created in His image and likeness. Pero here it's saying, we also image God in the communion of persons between man and woman when they get married, no? Na we actually image God in the sacrament of marriage. What do we image God in the sacrament of marriage? Kasi marriage is normally we associate that with two people who love each other and they become one, no? The two becomes one. So if we are to actually in a word, a description of God that marriage actually reveals to us, if we are to say God is blank, what would be a good word related to, what would be a good word to describe God that marriage actually reveals? God is, di ba? Parang God is love. Nag-click. Okay. So God is love. That is actually something that we reveal, that God Himself, not only does God love us, but God actually Himself is love. He is in His very nature love. He is in His very nature a relationship, a family. Diba? God the Father loves the Son, gives Himself as a gift to His Son, and God the Son receives the love, who is the beloved. He receives that love, and He gives back that same love to the Father. Diba? And that love between the Father, or that exchange of love between the Father and the Son, is so real, it's so true, it's so perfect, that it is another person, di ba? We believe in the Holy Spirit who is the Lord, who proceeds, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son, di ba? So, the God Himself is an eternal exchange of love between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, di ba? Yun yung sinasabi niyan. And sinasabi is, He wants us to share in that love as well. That's His plan for us. And He stamped that image in man and woman in their communion as husband and wife in marriage. So, ang ini-image natin about God, what we reveal about God in marriage is that God is an exchange of love. He is love. And we actually image that. If you think about it, the husband, the male, loves the wife, di ba? And he gives himself as a gift of love to the wife. And the wife receives that love, and the wife in turn loves also the husband, di ba? And they have this exchange of love with each other, and love is so true, so real, so pure, di ba? Given freely, faithfully, that it also becomes another person, di ba? So, in other words, we are actually imaging God Himself, the Trinity, in marriage. No? So we are all called to be mini Trinity. So in that love between husband and wife that is given freely, totally, faithfully, and bears fruit and becomes life-giving, we image the love of God in the Trinity and His love for us, the church. No. So in other words, but not only do we image Him, we actually get to participate in that love in a small way. Parang so it's a foretaste, patikim. So we get to get a foretaste of the love that we will all experience, and eventually the plan of God happens that we join Him for all eternity in heaven. Di ba? When we are already part of that exchange of love in heaven. No? So patikim siya. Kaya sabi sa catechism, in the joys of their love and family life, God gives spouses here on earth a foretaste of the wedding feast of the Lamb. So yun, marriage reveals that. Kaya may kasabihan tayo na marriage is the next best thing to heaven on earth, di ba? Parang ganon. Well, ideally, dapat ganon. so, so, kita niyo parang ano, di ba? Makikita niyo yung parallel, no? Between the Trinity and the family, no? So what did we learn so far? Sabi natin, covenant, order for a purpose, and yung sacrament, no? And we talk a little bit about why it is a sacrament and what do we image and reveal about God, no? But I also wanted to talk about yung pangalawa, yung covenant kasi madali intindihin niya, no? We know that's the joining together, kahit sa secular word, yan naman ang definition ng marriage, no? But yung ordered for a purpose, that's unique, no? Sa atin, no? Sa maybe in the Catholic and faith, no? Sabi diyan, it intended to foster the well-being and happiness of the husband and wife, and it's also ordered for the procreation and education of offspring. So yung una, sabi ano, foster the well-being and happiness of husband and wife. So yan tinatawag nating the unitive aspect of marriage. So it's done in the service of love, meaning it involves a union or a joining together to become one in an act of love, and that love pervades the whole of their life and express the love of God to each other. So much so that when you have God's love pervading in your union, you both grow as persons, di ba? You both grow in greater love and holiness. And eventually, it leads you to be transformed such that you learn to love each other as Christ loved us. Di ba? So, yun yung purpose. Yun yung isang sinasabi to na aspect ng marriage daw. There's that unitive aspect that is good for the spouses, that is for the well-being of the spouses. because it actually makes them grow as persons, grow in greater love and wholeness, and eventually be transformed so that the end in goal is they become, they reach or fulfill their destiny, which is to be able to join in the eternal exchange of love in heaven, no? To be able to go to heaven, in short. Kaya sabi natin, one of the purpose of marriage, one of the goals of marriage is pag nagsama kayo, to help each other, kaya helper, no? To help each other get to heaven. So yan yung isang objective ninyo when you're married to each other. Na tulungan niyo yung isa't isa makarating sa langit. So maybe if you're with your spouse right now, you can turn to your spouse and tell your spouse, bring me to heaven. Ano? So, yan yung isang goal ng marriage, no? And that's why it's called a vocation. It's your path to holiness. It's your path towards getting to heaven. So that's the unitive aspect of marriage. There is a second aspect of marriage, and that is called the procreative aspect naman, no? Na ang marriage daw, according to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, is also in the service of life. It is intended for the procreation and education of children. So first and foremost, it's concerned with the propagation of the human race and the preservation of succeeding generation. So when God created us, hindi naman niya ginawa na lahat ng tao nandiyan na kagad, di ba? So he started the word, pero he was so good that he allowed us to take part, to cooperate in the work of procreation by giving us a way of propagating and continuing mankind in the generations to come, no? Para magtuloy-tuloy. And that is through marriage, and eventually we'll talk about the marital act, no? Kasi sabi in 'di ba sabi niya, go and bear fruit and multiply, 'di ba? Yun yung first instruction ni Lord to mankind, no? And what does God desire? If you go to scriptures, you will find in many parts of the gospel, whether it's in scripture, whether it's in the Old or New Testament, is that God desires godly offspring, no? You'll read that in Malachi, for example. So it's not just about, and it's not even just about having offspring, no? It's not just about procreating, but it's actually having godly offspring. So it's also educating them, teaching them in the ways of the Lord, so that they eventually become a people of God. So in other words, ako yan at saka misis ko. Ano nangyari, no? So we learn here that in the first place, when he instituted marriage, he wasn't really just after a couple. God wasn't after, having a couple. He was actually after godly offspring, and therefore godly families. Yun ang habol ng Diyos. He is after a godly people. Di ba? So, kaya, nawala yung isa. Teka, na-missing isa. May isa pa. Nawala. Baka paglipat nawala. Sorry. Nawala yung pang-anim. I have 6 kids. Kami na misis ko, no? So it's a way, sabi nga, of propagating not just mankind, but God's people actually, no? Kaya we want to do our fair share of contributing to this desire of the Lord na magkaroon siya ng godly people. And that's why I guess you're not surprised bakit yung there's some really conservative Catholics who really espouse na maraming anak, no? Because we believe that it's our way of contributing so that there'll be more godly people in the world, di ba? Kaya we go for more children, no? Kung wala namang dahilan, no? Bakit hindi magkakaanak, no? Okay? So, review. Sabi natin, joining together, union to the man and woman, establishing a partnership for the whole of life, by its nature ordered for the good of the spouse, sabi natin, unitive, and the procreation and education of children. So, ang tatlong points dyan, it's exclusive union between one man and one woman for life. it fosters the well-being and happiness, it brings each other to heaven, and it's ordered towards procreation of offspring. Okay, so klaro na tayo anong marriage. So ang tanong niyo ngayon, asa na yung sex? Asa na pumasok yung sex in marriage? So now I want you to think about this, no? Where in marriage? Basahin niyo yung definition. It's an exclusive union. One man, one woman. Sa buong buhay nyo, this act of love is only with this person. It's exclusive. In fact, it's the only act of love na pwede nyo lang gawin to one person. There's no other act of love na pag ginawa, yung act of love, pag ginawa nyo sa ibang tao, act of love pa rin yun eh. Pero ito, pag ginawa nyo sa ibang tao, kasalanan nun. So it's the only exclusive act of love na you can do with one person. And when you do it, it actually fosters well-being and happiness. It brings you to heaven, and it leads towards procreation. So, saan sa marriage, ano naisip nyo? Saan sa marriage, one particular act or expression of love that actually meets all this definition? Meron bang ano? Meron. You can, by the way, respond if you want sa ano. Although hindi ko nakikita. Ito? Oh? Hindi eh. I mean, yung chat. So I just wanted some interaction. Where in marriage do you see that? Meron ba kayong naisip na it's a union. There's a joining together of man and woman that's exclusive for both of you, and it brings you happiness. It brings you to heaven. It's ordered towards procreation. What particular act or expression of love in marriage nyo nakikita yon? Now that's quite a pretty obvious question, no? So alam niyo naman ang sagot yan, di ba? So it's actually in the marital embrace, no? It's in the marital sex that you actually experience it. So in other words, when you think about sex, this is not just icing on the cake, no? How do I remove this? So hindi to some parang nice to have thing on the sides, no? It's actually very integral to marriage itself because it actually expresses what marriage is all about, diba? So in fact, so much so that it's referred to as the consummation of a marriage. Siguro narinig nyo na yung term na yan, di ba? Kahit naman in the secular world, nababanggit yan, na-consummate ba yung marriage? Narinig nyo siguro yan, di ba? In other words, nagsiping na ba sila? Parang ganon, di ba? But it really is actually, even in the Christian perspective, the very consummation of marriage, no? Because for us, we believe na when you make the marriage vows, a bond is created between you by God Himself, no? And when it gets consummated in the marital act, the Holy Spirit seals that bond. So sinisil yan. And that's why we said after that, the marriage is complete. And you can no longer break it. Kaya sabi na, bakit ba hindi pwedeng divorce sa marriage? It's because it's the Holy Spirit who seals it. In other words, even if we wanted to, kahit pa sabihin natin pwedeng gawin, we cannot because what God puts together, we cannot put asunder, di ba? Sabi natin, no? So it's during that consummation that is actually sealed, no? Kaya naririnig yan siguro sa mga case minsan na hindi nako-consummate yung marriage and therefore nagiging grounds later on, di ba? Annulment. Kasi so hindi to talaga icing lang na walang nice to have lang, no? It's actually very important for the marriage, even for the church, no? In fact, every sacrament you will find has a rite and a visible sign, di ba? May rite, di ba? Rite of baptism, rite of holy orders, di ba? And rite of marriage, meron, di ba? You give your vows to each other. But there's also a visible sign for every sacrament, no? Sacrament itself is a sign that points to God, sabi natin. But within the sacrament, there's also a visible sign for that sacrament, no? Like, for example, in baptism, the visible sign is yung water, di ba? And for marriage, it is marami ng signs sa marriage, pero one of them, the most important, is actually marital sex. That's actually a sign for marriage, no? And babanggitin ko na ulit dito, for it to be effective, it must be true to what it is representing. Same way, for example, yung baptism, pwede ko bang gamitin is motor oil, ibubuhos ko sa bata to baptize the child? Of course, hindi, di ba? Parang hindi effective dahil dumi, maitim, and it's supposed to be a sign that shows cleansing of what is impure, what is sinful, di ba? Same way, the marital act being a sign of the sacrament of marriage, for it to be effective, it must be true to what it is representing. And nakita natin kanina that it's actually a sign of marriage itself, no? And therefore, it must also be true to what marriage is pointing to. In other words, it also has to be an imaging of God Himself, an imaging of God's love between the Trinity and His love for His people. That is what marriage in general and marital sex in particular must be pointing to or must be representing. So it images God's love for His people. It must also be, kasi it's pointing to marriage, di ba? It's a sign of marriage. It must also therefore then be unitive and procreative. Kasi yun yung marriage eh. So dapat yung sign, yun din ang pinopoint niya. It must be a fulfillment of God's call for us to love as He loves. Di ba? Kasi sa marriage, sabi sa scripture, di ba? Husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church, di ba? So if this is a sign, sex is a sign of marriage, then it must also be a fulfillment of God's call for us to love as He loves. Pag nasa mo to, ganun pa yung marital sex. Parang ang layo doon sa sa conditioning natin, di ba, na what we think about sex. Kasi we see that in what? In TV, in movies. Parang James Bond, biglang nagkagustuhan lang, they have sex. But if you look at what it is intended to be, ang layo, di ba? Parang kulang na lang mag-sign of the cross muna kayo bago gawin, di ba? So, kasi it's really very integral to what marriage is, and it images God's love. It's a fulfillment of God's call to love as He has loved us. So if it is important pala, ganun pala siya ka-importante na it must image God's love for us, then it's important that we understand God's love for us. Paano ba yung love ni God for us? Kasi kung yun yung image ko, no? So if you look at the love of God for us, the love of Christ for us, di ba? One, it's given freely. Diba? Sabi ni Lord, no one takes my life away from me. I give it out of my own free accord. Di ba? Sabi niya, it's unconditional. Di ba? Yung love ni Christ. Without reservation. Sabi, God demonstrates His own love that while we were still sinners, He died for us. So walang kondisyon. Hindi yung, sisi muna kayo, saka ako magpapatay sarili ko for you. Di ba? And it's faithful. Yung unconditional pala, without reservation. Wala siyang hinold back, di ba? He gave His very life. So buong buhay binigay para sa atin. No? It's faithful. I will be with you to the end of age. He always loved those in the world who were His own. He loved them to the very last, di ba? So, faithful talaga siya. In fact, sabi ko nga, until mamatay na siya, He still loved us, di ba? Forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing, di ba? And God's love, Christ's love for us is life-giving, di ba? Sabi, I have come that you might have life and life to the full. Di ba? For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him may not perish but have eternal life. So it's life-giving. The love of Christ for us is life-giving. So, love of Christ daw is given freely. It's total. Bigay lahat. Walang conditions. Walang reservations. It's faithful. Di ba? And it's life-giving. So, yan yung four key points about the love of Christ for us. So, kinuha ko lang. Free will, total, without reservation, up to the very end. Di ba? It's faithful. And it gives life. It bears fruit. Now, that is the love of Christ for us. Sabi, love your spouse as Christ loved the church. Di ba? So, dapat ganito daw yung love ninyo to each other as spouses. So, napag-isipan nyo na ba to? Kung ito ba yung love ng spouse nyo sa inyo at yung love nyo sa spouse nyo? Are you giving it freely? Is it total? Is it without reservation? Is it faithful to the very end? And is it life-giving? Natanong nyo na ba yung asawa nyo, ganyan ba ang love mo sa akin? Or yung sarili nyo? Or meron na ba nagtanong sa inyo na ganito ba love mo sa asawa mo? Freely given, without reservation to the end? May nagtanong na ba sa inyo ng ganito? Wala pa? Naalala nyo to? So and so, have you come here freely and without reservation and give yourselves in marriage? Will you honor each other as man and wife for the rest of your life to the end? And will you accept children? Life-giving. Will you accept children from God and raise them up according to love Christ? Naalala niyo yung mga tanong na yan? Saan yan tinanong sa inyo? When you made your marriage vows. Di ba? Tinanong na sa inyo yan. Yan actually ang tinatanong sa inyo ng pare. Tinatanong niya, will you love each other as Christ loved you? Yan yung sinasagot nyo. But then, here's my kicker. Here's the question, no? Which act, which expression of love in marriage where you give yourself freely without any reservation, and you're gonna do this for the rest of your life just to this one person? Balik ako dun sa tanong kanina, di ba? And it will result into accepting children from the Lord. Di ba? So if you think about that, alam nyo kagad ang sagot ulit, di ba? Isn't it marital sex? Di ba? So in reality, when you engage in marital sex with each other, what you are actually doing is you are saying the words of your marriage vows. Diba? So you're saying, I'm loving you freely without any reservation. I'm giving up myself to you for the rest of my life, and I'm willing to accept children from the Lord. So it's given freely, totally, faithfully, and life-giving. That is what you're saying when you engage in the marital act. You are saying your marriage vows to each other. Except that you're not saying it in words. You're saying it in the language of the body. Di ba? Hindi nyo sinasabi. Pero yun din yung sinasabi nyo. Hindi lang, in action lang, hindi in words. You are actually saying your marriage vow. So in other words, the marital act, marital sex, is actually Pag sinabi niyo uli yung sinabi niyo dati, halimbawa, 25 years later, sinabi niyo yung sinabi niyo sa marriage, ano yun? Anong tawag doon? Or 50 years later, sinabi niyo uli yung sinabi niyo nung renewal. It's actually a renewal of vows. So the marital act is meant to be a renewal of wedding vows. I'm saying to my husband or wife, I'm loving you freely, totally, faithfully, in a life-giving manner. So yun ang sinasabi nyo. And that's why hindi pwede yung premarital sex kasi there's nothing to renew before if you're not yet married, no? So this is intended to be a renewal of vows. Okay? So, tanong ko ngayon sa inyo, what do you think about a marriage na madalas kayo nagre-renew ng vows? You think magiging malakas yung marriage na yon kung you're renewing your vows regularly, often, di ba? Gaganda ba at lalakas yung marriage nyo kung nagre-renew kayo ng vows regularly? Yes! Yes! Di ba? So, provided it's in right cause. Di ba? Kaya nga gusto natin ipaintindi, ano ba ibig sabihin ng marital sex, no? Very different kasi from what we're used to understanding what it is, no? And therefore, kung if that's the case, sinabi nyo, yes, maganda nag-renew vows regularly. First point, it's intended to be a regular part of marriage life. Kaya sabi ni Paul, the husband should give his wife her conjugal rights. Likewise, the wife to her husband. For the wife does not rule over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not rule over his own body, but the wife does. So parang it's no longer just your, no longer ikaw lang nag-own sa body mo, no? But it's a covenant, no? Hindi lang to exchange of properties, but more, I am yours and you are mine. So you become one. So it's no longer just your own body, no? So sabi dito, sexual intercourse between husband and wife should normally be regular. Because it's a renewal of vows, di ba? However, sabi nito na our primary concern in the relationship is to love our partner and serve him or her. So if you notice in the sorry. If you notice in the verse, the way it's written, the husband should give saan ba? The husband should give to his wife her rights, and likewise the wife to her husband, no? So it doesn't say the husband should demand from the wife his conjugal rights, or the wife should demand from the husband her conjugal rights, no? But the other way around, it's the focus is on you giving yourself to your spouse, no? Because that's what the love of God is, no? It's a love of self-donation. It's giving yourself as a gift to the other, not demanding it from the other way. So the focus is for the other, putting the welfare, the primary interest of the other over your own, no? So in other words, sabi dito na it should be regular. Like many things in life, we do what is good out of love of God and neighbor, whether we experience a desire to do it or not. Kasi yung tanong, paano kung wala ako sa mood? Di ba? Paano kung hindi ko feel, di ba? Should I, if my husband wants to have marital intercourse with me, or if my wife wants it, should I do it? Sinasabi dito, it's an act of love. It's giving yourself to the other. The husband, on one hand, should not focus on demanding it, because the focus should be on giving yourself as a gift to the other, no? But in that sense, then, like many other things down in life, when we love someone or we do an act of love, sometimes hindi naman natin feel din gawin yung isang bagay, but we still do it because we love the person. Halimbawa, ako, for example, one thing I do almost every Sunday yan, I drive my kids to their condo. So, yung mga anak ko nagtatrabaho sa BGC, I bring them to BGC on Sunday night. Dati nag-aaral pa yung mga anak namin sa Ateneo, sa UP. I drive them to Ateneo and UP. Ayaw na ayaw ko yung drive na yan dahil ang layo, di ba? At Sunday ng gabi pagod na ako. Gusto Monday magtatrabaho uli ako. But I still do it, di ba? And when I do it, hindi ako nagmamaktol, di ba? I actually want to do it. Hindi dahil nag-i-enjoy ako, pero I do it because I love my children. Diba? So you go out, even if you don't do it, out of love for the person, and you find out that when you do it, you actually feel happy about it. Because what makes in this case, my child happy, makes me happy. Ganun din daw ang relationship sa husband and wife. You think about the other person, you don't think about, it's not so much looking at your own selfish needs. It's not about satisfying my needs, but it's giving myself as a gift of service of love to the other person. So sometimes kahit hindi ka in the mood, whether it's the husband or the wife, if the other one wants it, then you do it out of love, no? We should not do it just dutifully, but willingly and joyfully. If everyone is mainly concerned to serve others, then everyone concerned benefits. Kung ang approach ng lalaki is always looking at the good of the wife and giving myself as an act of self-donation to the other, as a gift to the other, and putting her interests over mine, and if the wife then ganun din ang iniisip, then everything becomes a lot more joyful and loving, no? Hindi yung sarili ang iniisip mo. Same way naman sa husband, kumbaga, kung nakita mo yung wife mo, may sakit, or hirap, pagod, is it loving to demand also from your wife na, I want to have marital sex? You're focusing on your own selfish needs again, no? So, dapat ang tingin mo is, what is loving to the other person? It mentions here also na it does not mean we cannot both decide to forego sexual intercourse from time to time for various reasons. So pwede daw sometimes you agree to also not to engage in sexual intercourse for various valid reasons. Although generally, maybe for short periods of time you can do that, but generally the expectation it should be regular between husband and wife. Parang ano lang yan, pagkain. Minsan, nagpa-fast din naman tayo sa pagkain, di ba? The other thing I want you to take note, ito naman is between husbands and wife. Because one thing I'll show the next slide is, iba ang lalaki at babae. It's actually a bit more challenging for the men. Both are sexual beings, pero iba kasi ang the make of a man and a woman, di ba? Malalaman yan, di ba? And one of the biggest challenges of men, and this is one that the devil really tries to take parang advantage of, is that it's one of the biggest struggles always of men, no? Yung the sin of related to lust, di ba? Parang ganon. Kasi lalaki medyo mas focused on, mas visual ang lalaki, di ba? Parang ganun. So, it actually is not just an act of love in the sense na sinabi ko kanina for the women to actually engage in marital sex with the husbands, but also an act of helping him overcome yung temptations niya when it comes to sexual sins. Kasi parang ano yan halimbawa, kasi as sexual beings, meron kang natural desire to crave for marital sex, no? But it's parang pagkain pa yan, kung tinitempt mo yung tao na, o yan, nilagyan mo ng masarap na pagkain at sabihin mo, wag mong kainin yan. Pero nasa harap niya yung masarap na pagkain. Which do you think is magiging mas may strength to resist yung tao? Yung kakakain niya lang ng lunch tapos nilagay mo yung pagkain na masarap after? O yung ilang linggo na siyang hindi kumakain at nilagyan mo ng masarap na pagkain after? So, siyempre, mas mahirap yun, di ba? So, it actually is an act of helping also the husband overcome yung temptation niya when you actually also help satisfy yung need niya for this, no? So, ito on sexual adjustment, I mean, just emphasize that men and women are different daw. Men are more focused on physical sex, the response is more biological and automatic, and they're quickly aroused more than the women. Especially yung sinabi ko kanina by visual and tactile stimuli, no? Women naman are more focused on relational interaction. Very important for the women daw yung relations and yung state ng emotions, no? The response is more bound with the relationship and not so much compartmentalized. Ang lalaki kasi, kahit nag-away kayo, and in-invite mo 5 minutes later, ay papatol yan. Di ba? Sa babae, medyo mahirap yon. Di ba? Kasi it's tied up to the state of the relationship, no, emotions. So they tend to respond more to kindness, to tenderness, di ba? So ibang make ng lalaki at babae, no? And that's why it's important therefore to communicate with each other. So I don't know kung nag-one-to-one kayo with your spouse. That's one of the things na tinuturuan namin sa family bundles. But this is actually one topic that you should talk about when you do your one-to-ones with each other. And you realize that there's adjustment that needs to happen dahil magkaiba kayo, lalo na kung magkaiba rin yung upbringing nyo or yung experiences nyo. So it's really something, it helps if you talk about it, no? And again, our main concern should not be focused too much on the degree of sexual pleasure but on mutual love and service. Problema nga kasi, na-expose tayo mostly in media na halos lahat na napapanood yung nagkakaroon ng sexual intercourse is parang, it's the best. Puros maganda, no? Hindi ganoon ang totoo, no? Hindi ganyan ang reality. So that's why the important thing that we should focus on really is the mutual love and service for each other, no? And then you have to also recognize that sometimes we may have problems in this area, no? It's either the husband or the wife may have problems in this area. And so it's important that we talk about and deal with that problem, no? Whether that's going to be with each other, or whether that will be the help of your pastoral leader, or in some cases talagang it may require a professional help, no? So we have to recognize that as well. Family planning, binanggit ko dito, of course, now that you know that sex is procreative, di ba? It's intended to actually for us to go and increase and multiply. So the expectation is couples of childbearing age should have some children if they can, no? However, we also recognize that current circumstances may not make possible for us to just have as many children as as can be, no? Hindi naman ganun kadali ang buhay natin ngayon, no? So we recognize that naman also. So, every couple now needs to make their own decision in the light of their current circumstances, no? So, you have to evaluate the circumstances you're in, and if there is valid reason naman, so there are cases that there are valid reasons for you not to, or for you to avoid pregnancy, then that can be, no? Nire-recognize naman ng church yan. Pero two things to remember lang dyan, is that one, if you do decide that there is reason for you to avoid pregnancy, that you must do so still with still observance of the moral laws and the meaning of human sexuality. So you don't want to violate the meaning of sex, and at the same time, you don't want to violate our moral laws, no? And so I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And secondly, when you do discern and evaluate whether now's a good time or hirap ba tayo to have children ngayon, it must not be an exercise to try to justify yung gusto mong marinig, yung gusto mong answer. No? But it must really be done in prayer and discernment. And thirdly, when you say may valid reason, it really means valid reason. For example, may sakit yung isa or kakasisaryan lang, di ba? Hindi pa pwede, may risk to the health. Pero the church also tells us, reminds us na we have to be very careful about when we say valid reason. Kasi sometimes we might think na material comfort is something that's higher priority than having children. No? Church believes that children are actually a much more important blessing than just material comfort. No? So yung mga nagsabi na, hindi ako makabiyahe ng iba-ibang countries, no? If I have children, you better put that in prayer and discernment. No? Iba yung pinag-uusapan dito ng valid reason. Contraception, I mentioned here also, it's a special area. Sabi sa Catechism, any action which, whether in anticipation of the conjugal act or in its accomplishment, proposes whether as an end or as means to render the procreation impossible is intrinsically evil. No? So sabi, if you do discern na may dahilan na hindi pa ako pwedeng magkaroon ng anak, then you have to still observe the moral laws, di ba? And the meaning of marital sex. So, in other words, every act still has to be open to the possibility of having children. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So, kaya hindi pwedeng contraception because when you do contraception, you are actually putting away an impediment or a mean to actually stop the possibility of having children, no? Which is against what the meaning of sex. And that is what we're trying to say is marital sex is an expression or a manifestation of that Christ, that the love of God is a life-giving love. No. In other words, contraception will falsify that sign, no, that we talked about on what sex is, and therefore there's only one legitimate. For the church, it's only one legitimate way of birth control if you really need to do it, and that is self-control. In other words, the natural way of family planning, di ba? And you can consult there are people who are good at this. They know how to help you navigate through the natural way of doing it. No? Okay. So in summary, it images and marriage in general and sex in particular images and participates in the communion of the Trinity, in the communion of Christ and the church. It images Christ's love for his people, his church. It's a fulfillment of God's call for us to love as he loves. It images Christ's free, total, faithful, life-giving love. It is unitive, it's procreative, it is a renewal of marriage vows. Okay? So, that is the meaning, no? Dapat ganyan, it conforms to that when we engage in marital sex, no? So, sabi ko nga, when you come out of here, ibang-iba ang ano niyo dapat, parang understanding of, nito pala ang meaning ginagawa namin, no? Hindi pala to strictly just for pleasure, for recreation, which is what the word teaches us madalas, no? In fact, kung ito yung isipin mo that it is actually an imaging of Christ's love for us, his free, total, faithful, and unconditional, and life-giving love for us. If you're to remind yourself na ganito palagi dapat pala to, what is an image of God's Christ, the love of Christ for us? Kung meron kang isang image ni Christ that show you that Christ is loving you freely, totally, unconditionally. Binigay niya lahat just so you can have life. Ano yung image ni Christ na maiisip nyo? Meron ba may isip? Ano yung act of love na ginawa ni Christ na he really showed na walang condition, he gave everything just so you can have life. Anong image yun? The cross, di ba? So yan, di ba? That's the Christ. Yan din so that is what that is what marriage is supposed to be a sign of, and that is what marital sex is actually supposed to also show. It's you saying, this is my body, and I am giving it up to you. So it's a sacrificial love. It's a love of self-donation, of giving yourself as a gift to the other. No? So ibang-iba, no? hindi, hindi pareho doon sa pagkaalam natin ano yung sex in our society, no? So that's it. That's actually my my talk. I hope nakatulong sa inyo.